first observation was done at the Lone Oak Exceptional School, and I was in Miss Amber and Miss Lindsay's room. Their students, they were ages 2.5 to 3 years old, and in the room they have 5 students on the day that I observed, but it's normally 8 students. Out of those 8 students, 4 are regular daycare, and then the other 4 receive some sort of therapy. For my glow for this one, I listed that the relationship that I witnessed between the children and the teachers, it was just amazing. They were very loving, and you could tell that it wasn't just a job for them. So I really liked that. My grow, there was this one student, and he would shush the teachers anytime they asked him to do something, and they didn't really have any way to discipline him. They wouldn't put him in timeout or anything. They would just say, "You don't shush us." And he was one of the older students, so you kind of just figured he would know better. I mean, I know they're still babies, but it's never too young to learn manners. For my second observation, I was at the Lone Oak Exceptional School again, and I was in Miss Ginny and Miss Laura's room. They had 3.5 to 4-year-olds, and they had 12 students. My glow for this one is that I liked how the school was able to provide a petting zoo for the children, like a special learning activity. The children just loved it. There was a kangaroo, and they just had a ball with it. It was amazing. My grow for this one is that the teachers, like back in the classroom after the petting zoo, they seemed to have a little trouble keeping up with all of the students. Like one student, they were all supposed to be sitting at the table, and he got up and he hid behind a bookcase, and they didn't know where he was. Like, he was behind this bookcase for about 2.5 to 3 minutes before they realized he was missing. And they asked me, and I was like, well, he's hiding behind a bookshelf. So I kind of felt like they should have been paying more attention, because they were kind of just gossiping about one of their coworkers. So that would be my girl on that one. My third observation was also at the Lone Oak Exceptional School, and it was with Miss Kat and Miss Stephanie. They had 13 students, and the ages were 4 to 5 years old. Out of the 13, they had 7 that received some sort of therapy, so you still had a good balance between the kids who needed therapy and then the ones that were just there for regular daycare. So I liked that it was a mixture of the two. My glow is that they used a lot of activities to develop their motor skills better, like the head, shoulders, knees, and toes game. Like, the kids loved that, and it was really cute. And then they had one, and it was eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. So, I mean, they kind of shook it up a little bit, but it helped them because they were coordinating, you know, where to touch and where to point. Plus, it helped them work on the names of those for the ones who needed that extra help. My grow is there was this little boy, and for the past week and a half, the teacher informed me he would do nothing but communicate as a T-Rex. So he would, like, he had his arms drawn up like this, and he would roar at the teachers. And if they tried to ask him something, he would scream, like, roar, right in their face. And they didn't really know how to handle it, and that made me realize that if I were in that same situation, I would have no clue how to go about that. So I was glad that I actually got to witness that. I mean, they just told me that it was a phase and that it would pass. So, my fourth observation was done at the Pathfinders preschool. I was in Miss Jessica Laxton's room. She had 5 students, ages 3 to 4. In that room, she had quite a bit of diversity. It was 3 African American students and then 2 Caucasian students. My glow for this one was I was glad I got to see the students do socio-dramatic play. They had this really amazing game of make-believe going on in the dramatic play area. The little girl was in the kitchen, and she was pretending to cook for all of her friends, and this little boy came up wearing a firefighter uniform, and he's like, "Your house is on fire, your house is on fire." And it was just so cute because she just went along with it. She's like, oh no, put it out, put it out. So, after he put the fire out, he switched uniforms and became like this construction worker / handyman, and he helped her rebuild after the fire. So I thought it was really amazing to see how creative those children were. I mean, for such young babies, I didn't expect that much imagination. My grow, it's not exactly a grow, but I had this little girl, and she wanted to come up to me and just talk to me the entire time, and she wanted me to play with her, but her teacher knew that I was there to do the observation, and she reminded her that I had a job to do, so she needed to, go back to her center and play, and she got really upset, so it kind of broke my heart that I couldn't spend more time with her because she was so sweet, so polite. My 5th observation, it was done at the Pathfinders preschool as well, and it was in Miss Candace Jackson's room. She had 6 students, and the ages were 4 to 5, and she also had a little bit of diversity. She had 3 African American students, 2 Caucasian students, and 1 Asian student. My glow is that it was good to see the teacher handle so many different situations the way she did. For example, she had this little girl, and she was showing signs of autism, and she became very upset, and so she had to calm her down by reading her favorite story to her. And I thought it was really sweet that she got to, spend that time and be the one to calm her down. But she also had another boy, and he got upset when he was asked to clean up, and he used the bathroom in his pants. So she was kind of drawn between helping the little girl, helping the boy, and then being with the other students. So that's kind of what I listed as my grow. Some of the children didn't get all of the attention they desired because they kept trying to get her attention to come over there, but she was trying to deal with the two situations at hand, so it kind of split her attention. For my 6th observation, it took place at the McCroy Elementary School, and I was in Miss Carla Reynolds' room. The students like to call her Miss Carr. She had 13 students, and my glow for her is that she used these really fun math games. She split the children up into groups of 2, and sometimes 3, and they had these card games, and they were like blackjack. One game focused on multiplication facts, another one focused on division, place value, decimals, things like that. And like for the multiplication ones, the children got to sit there and they had to match the product up to 21, but they could not go over. So whoever had the closest one won all of the cards, and then the one who had all of the cards at the end of the game won. So it was really great because you got to see the students refresh their skills, plus you saw ones that were struggling, and you had the other students that, they knew it just like that, and they were able to help them. So that helped reinforce their learning by being able to take the role of the teacher in that part. So that was my glow for that. My grow is, I witnessed some bullying going on for this girl who was just slightly overweight, and these other 2 girls who were like very skinny. They were calling her fat, and I think it's sad, that at this age, they're just being completely mean when a girl is completely self-conscious in 5th grade. I mean, it's really sad. So my 7th observation was then also at the McCroy Elementary School. It was with Miss Jane Harris. She had 16 students. My glow is that Miss Harris took the time after class to offer me some advice as going into my first year. She was telling me how the students needed to earn respect from her. Like, she does not offer any smiles until she feels as though they've earned it. and she said to start off harder because it's always easier to lighten up as the year goes on. So that was my glow, because I really liked that she was offering me advice. But my grow is, while I was grateful for that advice, I didn't fully agree with all of it. I believe that you can be authoritative and still be friendly. Like, just make it an environment that the student can learn from, a warm, loving one that is still conducive to learning. I don't believe you have to be just completely stern. For my final observation, it was done at the Cabot Montessori School, sorry. It was with Miss Victoria Smith. She had 9 children in her classroom, and it was ages 3 to 5. She normally has about 17 students, but a lot of them were either late that day or off at vacation with their families. The glow is that I really loved that the children get a say in the kind of learning activities that they're going to participate in. She said that they just put them on the shelves and they know which ones that they can handle by themselves, and it also gives her time to go around individually to each student to introduce new learning material while the students are entertaining themselves with refreshing their other learning material. It was really nice. My grow, it's not exactly a grow. I mean, I didn't exactly know what to expect going into a Montessori school. I mean, I had read the definition and heard a little bit of it before, but it was nice to actually get to witness it firsthand. I really loved how it was structured and organized. Like, out of all of the preschools that I went to, that was probably the most organized one, where the students were more focused on the learning activities. It just wasn't as chaotic as some of the others were. And that was my last one.